It's Penava, the nation's leading shot blocker. For Wichita State, a wrinkle in the starting lineup. The junior Marcus McDuffy starts for just the 4th time this year for Greg Marshall. We could have Debbie Antonelli on an action-packed start to the day in San Diego with the Shockers and the Thunder and Herd.
Wichita State is a well-prepared, very well-coached, unselfish basketball team. Landry Shaman will run the offense and dominate the ball for them.
Both teams average in the 80s scoring. And here's Shaman behind the screen for Morris. Kelly into the paint. The Tennessee needs help. Shaman steps back off of Elmore's foot. So that's a break with the kickball. Shot clock resets to 20. John Higgins, Marcus Pettigrew, and Robert Staffen are officials today.
One of the things Wichita State will try to do early is get Shaq Morris established on the block. They have an advantage in size and strength on the interior. Maybe plus 50 pounds in that matchup with Penava.
Greg Marshall said of Morris, Shaq needs to be a big old bully in the paint today. So we'll see if the Shockers can establish him. Down to 9 again. Shaman finds Connor Frankamp. Here's Morris, nearly walks. Needs some help. Morris launches it, so outside the paint. Morris misses his first look.
Making John Elmore uncomfortable is the key for Wichita State. Here he is with the basketball right here. He has range well beyond the three-point line. You have to be high hands on a closeout.
At 27 in the CUSA championship game, 20 in the second half. And it's West who takes the first look. And it spins in for the native of Clarksburg, West Virginia. Marshall averages 10 made threes a game. Morris gives it up. Shaman can't answer. There's Morris on the offensive glass. Penava bothered the shot. Play on.
You're not going to see many post players like Penava. The combination of the block and the ability to pick and pop on the perimeter.
Elmore misses his first look. Wichita State 0 for 3 shooting start. Kelly takes it in. Penava going to draw a foul this time. So the nation's leading shot blocker contact, but didn't get the foul the first trip down. And he picks up a foul here.
Hey, this is a terrific job driving in transition, going right into the chest of Penava, challenging him on the second level. Marshall guards have to keep the perimeter game in front. You can't put pressure on Penava all game to have to block shots at the rim.
And interesting for Penava, the nation's leading shot blocker, he plays a lot face up on the offensive end of that 5-out look for Marshall.
You know, he's a pick and pop guy. He's got a 7-foot 3-inch wingspan to go with a 6'9" frame.
It'd be a game changer early if somehow the Shockers could get a second foul on Penava. 130 block shots on the year for the junior from Sarajevo.
You'll see multiple defenders on John Elmore, number 33 in green for Marshall.
West holding, missing. Good trigger for West, hustles for the offensive board. Here's C.J. Burks. Drops it in, and C.J. Burks, one of those 20-point-a-game scorers for Marshall.
The only team in the tournament that has 2 20-point scorers.
Here's Morris. Quickly gives it up. Go to the corner for McDuffy. Morris offensive board. Finds McDuffy. Blocked inside. Foul called underneath.
Well, one of the reasons why McDuffy is in the starting lineup is to get to the glass and to be a factor with length on the perimeter defending Marshall's guards. He's a multiple, versatile guy, Carter. He can play inside out. And they're waiting for him to return to his form of 2 years ago where he was an all-conference player.
He was leading scorer and leading rebounder last year, mostly off the bench. Then stress fracture left foot, suffered in late September, came back late December, started 3 in the regular season, and now, a native of Patterson, New Jersey, played with Bob Hurley, St. Anthony. What a heck of a time to get your food start of the season.
Really good defense. Getting back, picking up your assignment, denying John Elmore. Greg Marshall's team trying to make Marshall run their offense without Elmore getting an early catch.
Shockers 2.5 minutes in, plus, without a field goal. Frankamp, push two, goes in for the first made bucket for Wichita State. Kansas Jayhawk, Connor Frankamp.
See, Connor's not going to be on the top of the scouting report, Carter, but he is a player that's going to compete on both ends of the floor.
Elmore is going to be on the report. Finds Williams. On rebound, Morris calls it in.
Remember, Marshall hasn't been here since 1987. They usually hit those open threes. They're getting good looks out of their offense.
You feel a settling in factor for both teams, especially with a 10:30 local start?
I definitely think, like right here, John Elmore off a step-up screen, gets a little space. He doesn't need much.
He doesn't need 2 feet. Hit that runner off of one. Morris outside for 3.
See, I think you'll take that shot if you're D'Antoni. Let Shaq Morris shoot threes instead of going with his back to the basket.
Wichita State 1 for 7 shooting, 0 for 4 from 3. Elmore on the screen from Williams. Elmore gets the switch. It's the big man on him. He throws it into the backcourt. And stops it at the 16-minute mark. So John Elmore with a thundering start here in San Diego with an Elmore triple to get Marshall off to an 8-4 start. The 4 teams who ended their droughts, lengthy periods, 2 of them here in San Diego. Marshall, later today we'll see Charleston. 1987, last time the Herb were in it, and here is what we look like collectively in 1987. Obviously you get Maverick, the Miramar ties here in Southern California. John Shrippen, handsome as well, and how about Debbie Antonelli?
You couldn't come on that line, come on that one.
With the Pack, now was that one of the Sweet 16 years?
That was a Sweet 16 year with the Wolfpack, yes.
Love it. So here's Marshall. Last time they won the Southern Conference under Rick Huckabee in 1987. Now Conference USA tournament champs under Dan D'Antoni, the Marshall alone. Took the job to get to this moment. Marshall in the tournament. Frankamp delivers a 3.
He is so good at playing off screening action. He works so hard without the ball. That time, he just scores right behind a step up.
Let's check in with John.
That's exactly what Greg Marshall just drew up in that last huddle. He felt like offensively they were a little stagnant, so he wants more high ball screens and action towards the basket, and they got a wide open look on 3. On defense, he actually thinks they're doing a great job. He said, look, guys, they got one lucky roll and another tough shot, so they're doing all right.
West running, one-hander won't go. Morris has the rebound for Wichita State. A 3 by Frankamp, first for the Shockers.
And that was just the second basket of the game, and that was all Connor Frankamp. He's got both buckets.
Neither he nor Reeves attempted a 3 versus Houston their last game. Elmore's going to attempt it all day long. Shamet pushes, landed, shot, rejected by Penava. Block number 131 of the season.
So impressive, his timing, his length. There's a turnover.
Into the hands of Shamet again with Penava trailing. Shamet attacks. Penava breaks off, and Landry Shamet gives Wichita State an early 1-point lead.
And McDuffy in a face guard position right now with Elmore. See, if you can keep him from catching, he can't hurt you.
Penava rolls it in. Another good roll for the Thundering Herd.
He's got a terrific soft touch for post guard.
Frankamp thought about it again, back into the hands of Shamet. Frankamp, Kelly tips away, Burks has it. Burks run out, around McDuffy and in. Tough finish for C.J. Burks around Marcus McDuffy. McDuffy on the offensive end.
Good defense sliding through. Both teams locked in on the defensive end early.
6 to shoot. Shamet behind the screen, poked away, has to give it up. So Kelly to the rim. Shaquille Morris play angry.
One on the shot clock. Great poise. That's the veteran team that John was talking about with 6 seniors.
And now Elmore probes, finds Penava, slipping and a foul on Shaq Morris. First personal foul. Watch live games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Watch now at ncaa.com/March Madness or download the app today. We were watching yesterday when Seton Hall.
Oh, you have to bring that one up,
Well,
Carter.
our producer Steve McKee had a keen interest in that one, and the Hall was in fact
They played well.
victorious. I'm not even going to mention who they played, but
Well, it was NC State.
okay, all right, good, thanks. Dean Penava. Born in 1997 in Sarajevo and came to the U.S. not like a lot of European players do to play high school ball. He was recruited by Marshall out of a tournament in Europe to come to Huntington, West Virginia. So the first time he came to the U.S. was to play basketball, and he has developed from a wiry freshman into a shot blocker as a sophomore, and now one of the nation's best defensive players with a shot on the other end.
He certainly makes you think about over-penetrating, that's for sure. He's got more block shots than 79 Division I teams this year.
Watson gets the steal. Elmore, that is foul on Zach Brown, who had been in the usual starting five for Wichita State. So now Brown off the bench gets a quick personal.
Now this is just Elmore playing off a screen, and you just see Zach Brown just pushes through the screen.
Greg Marshall, now 20 seasons as a head coach, went through it at Wichita State, 14 NCAA tournaments, plus an NIT title, highlighted by the Final Four in 2013 as a 9 seed. But as John mentioned, now as a 4 out of the American, feels a little different.
He does a terrific job of building his game from the rim out on both ends of the floor. And on the defensive end, you really got to jump to the ball against Marshall, because they will back cut you and slip screens, and with the space open, it's really challenging to defend.
Shamit covered up, 4 to shoot, down to the baseline, the jumper from Norger, boarded by Elmore. John Elmore spinning, floating, hasn't found the touch yet.
Yeah, I don't think he had the ball in his hand properly on that release.
1 for 4 shooting start for Elmore. Wide open Willis. Penava closes to whip it away again.
Really good help.
Burks off the bounce. Boarded by Willis. Murger inside. That is a turnover. Not a foul, but it's another turnover. And Marshall hasn't exactly exploded on the Thunder and Herd by 3. Here in San Diego, two teams capable of filling it up. Marshall and Wichita State both average over 80 points per game. 9 minutes in, got 14 to 11. And you know, one of these teams is going to get real hot at some point, this basketball team.
Well, I like that Greg Marshall is going deep into his bench early. He's keeping the defensive pressure on John Elmore.
Elmore gives it up. Watson in the corner. Burks off the bounce again. And this is boarded by Wilkes. And a foul called on the Shockers, drawing the ire of Greg Marshall. It is on Zach Brown, and that is his second. Didn't get the start, still has 2 fouls. 10:44.
He just shoves Penava out of the way. They get tangled up underneath. I don't know. That's a tough one to go against Wichita State.
Greg Marshall agrees. The former Marshall assistant coach. That's foreshadowing later. Penava in the corner. tipped out. Marshall keeps it. Thundering Herd 12th in the nation this year in scoring. Burks inside, dumps it off. And Bill Watson.
What a beautiful drop-off pass inside by Burks. It's constant motion for Marshall. It's really tough to guard him because you got to jump to the ball. They're constantly looking to attack. All their guards seek shots.
Tony ball, but it goes deeper than that for the West Virginia and Kentucky folks. 8 to shoot, Shaman on the bounce. Will shoot. Fight for the loose ball. Shaman wins it. Goes back up. Can't finish. Third chance. Finally gets a foul as Darrell Willis Jr. wins the latest battle for the boards.
A floater by Shaman is short. And then you see the hustle right here. Every possession matters. You can just tell it's that kind of game in March. You're going to have to be able to maximize every situational offensive opportunity, whether it's out of bounds, whether it's off timeouts.
Now you may know by now that the Pac-12 is already done. All three of those Pac-12 schools losing to teams from upstate New York. Buffalo, St. Bonaventure, Syracuse. Williams has the board. Marshall led by 5 a moment ago. Largest lead for either side. Marshall is 6.
What a great play off the dead ball situation by D'Antoni.
Second chance, Austin Reeves. Sophomore from Arkansas. Back into the hands of Frankamp. With Shaman on the bench, Reeves lets it fly. Another offensive rebound. McDuffy takes it and one with a foul on Williams. Marcus McDuffy attacking on the second chance.
Maybe that's the kind of play that can get McDuffy going on the offensive end, Carter. This is a strong offensive rebound and finish at the rim with contact.
It's been the conundrum of Wichita State's season as to when Marcus McDuffy would get rolling. And Greg Marshall's hope, starting him here in this game, that defensively on Elmore, give his offensive game a boost. And McDuffy's three-point play gets it back to 3.
You already documented his injury status beginning of the year. Last year he was an 11-6 guy. This year he's 8.5 and 3. He's got to get on the glass. He's got to use his length on the defensive end. If he can do those things, he'll help his team get a win in March.
Shockers show a little pressure. Marshall beats it. George misses the 3. There's Shaq Morris on the board. Extended rest for Shaman. McDuffy. Opposed, but couldn't finish. Another second chance. Reeves into Morris. Play on. George doing the draw the charge. Instead, Wichita State back within 1.
Let me tell you something. Marshall is known for its offense, but their defensive effort here early has been terrific.
Elmore runner gets to the line. 5 straight for Wichita State, so John Elmore takes it upon himself. The junior from Charleston, West Virginia.
John Elmore has incredible balance in his offensive game. 35% of his points come from the 3, 37 from 2, and 28% from the free throw line. He has a terrific offensive game. He is really hard to guard. You're going to put length on him, he's going to go by you. You play short, he can go to the rim.
First round coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship begins today on ESPN2 and the ESPN app. For more information, game times, and listings, go to ncaa.com, or you could just ask Doug.
Is it self-serving to say NC State a 3rd time in the first half?
No,
you know, because they start off the tournament today. The NC State women are playing at home in Raleigh.
Elmore with 5 points. Frankamp on the other end. Connor Frankamp, a 5th-year senior from Wichita North High School. Elmore spins and spins.
with the ball in his hands. You see why Wichita State's working so hard to keep it out of his hands.
Shamet still on the bench for Wichita State, staying within striking distance. Reeves in the corner.
See how they funnel into their inside game to their shot blockers?
Morris. Shamet getting a rest for Wichita State. And Penava not in the middle for Marshall.
Here comes a muscle on the interior for Greg Marshall.
That big old bullet. If you wanted Shaquille Morris to blow on today. Elmore guarded by McDuffy. Step back. McDuffy's head. Sending Elmore to the line for 3 shots. Marshall by 1, but John Elmore ready to represent the herd. Marshall by 1 on Wichita State. Marshall's led almost the entire start here in San Diego. A third of Wichita State's points have come off the second chance.
We talk about John Elmore. Look at his range. And look at right here, Carter. He makes you sit, drop your hands, and then he tries to stick the triple on you. He goes to the line 8 times a game. He's really hard to guard.
The Muhammad Ali reference for John Elmore early on. I like it, Debbie. That's strong. Mentioned he spent a year at VMI. His dad, John Elmore's dad, Gay Elmore, one of the great players. There he is in VMI history. Scored over 2,400 points. Gay and Beth Elmore. Ott Elmore also on the Marshall Thundering Herd. So it is truly a family affair, and it was an emotional celebration in Frisco, Texas when they won the Conference USA Championship and delivering on that dream of taking Marshall back to the NCAA tournament. Now the Elmore family. 3-point lead here in San Diego with Ott and John playing the madness.
Well, John's a gym rat. He's the kind of kid that's there early and he stays late. And he probably dribbles his basketball to class.
Shamet back in the game for Wichita State. Penava back in there for Marshall. Here's Morris facing up. Penava floats and got an offensive foul on Shaquille Morris. That's the second on the big man for Wichita State. He is begging to stay in the game, but here comes Kelly.
Watch how hard he's working for position outside the restricted area, and that is a good call. I think Shaq lowered his shoulder a little bit.
And Penava was ready. So Morris at the 7:06 mark. McDuffy, Morris, and Zach Brown all have 2 fouls for Wichita State. To the Watson.
Beautiful.
Reeves pulls up. Into the hands of Elmore again. Running the herd, John Elmore.
This is going up.
Elmore takes it and reads. There it is, going up to the line for the attacking John Elmore. Rondale Watson driving some steel off the oop.
Twice off a dead ball situation. It's the rim run and the flush. What a pass by John Elmore.
I remember we talked about John Elmore's quiet start, and now Elmore at the line for 2 more, and he's in double digits already after a quote-unquote quiet start.
But look, we love guards, right, Carter? He dominates the ball. If you study him, when he rebounds or gets a turnover, he's not giving it up. In a transition situation, that's why he was shooting that one. Plus, he saw Reeves picking him up in transition.
Can you blame him?
No. I'm saying he shoots till his arm falls off.
He may. And now Shamet trying to answer. Another fight on the boards. This one won by Kelly and the Shockers. Second chance. Reeves. Penava finally controls, and now Penava at 6'9" brings it up himself.
Playing with an empty block.
West caught in the air. Reeves has the steal. Looking for a trailer. It's Shamet, step in 3. Guarded by Burks, Willis. Back come the Herd. Herd slips the screen. Attacks Shannon. Cleared by Willis. Landry Shannon finds Reeves as the Shockers run.
Look at Penava, 7-3, just stands him up in the post.
Frankamp step-in triple. The one in Wichita State with a much-needed big bucket from outside.
I think you got to run some more stuff for Connor Frankamp. He's had a hot hand in the first half for Wichita State. He's got 10. 4 for 5 from the floor.
I know it's from Kellen Marshall. Greg Sutton, who's a manager on the team, said, hey, Reeves nor Frankamp attempted a 3 in our last game. Watch him fly early, and sure enough, they had it for Connor Frankamp.
Look at Reeves right here playing to the middle of the floor. It's a great job of setting up Connor Frankamp. Pass to the shooting pocket in rhythm where he can step into it.
Said through the day, Connor Frankamp, it will be sad when it's over, but hopefully it will be a happy ending to his college basketball career that's taken him to Kansas and Wichita State.
He's only turned the ball over 10 times all season.
Stream live, 24/7 highlights, scores, and news. Free across all your connected devices with CBS Sports HQ. Check it out now at CBSSportsHQ.com. 13 points for John Elmore and a 6-point edge for the 13 seed Marshall. Shannon off the bounce. Father dumps it off inside and a good finish. On the look for Shannon. McDuffy gets a bucket.
Wichita State needs to lock in right here. High hands right here. You got to affect his vision. You can't let John Elmore just do what he wants to do with the ball.
5 out for the Herd. Elmore and Penava. Everybody else clears out and leaves it up to the juniors.
Shooters in the corner, operating in the shoot. A nice screen and roll, and the pass is perfect. It's away from the defense, and it leads Penava right to the rim. It's a third pass that Elmore has put on the money at the rim.
So for the D'Antoni brothers, Dan and Mike, this has become the patented aggressive. Shoot the 3, take the layups, get to the line. But Dan D'Antoni says it goes much deeper than just the D'Antoni brothers from West Virginia. West Virginia basketball, Kentucky basketball, the way everybody was playing.
Did you ever play pickup with anybody that played with to the basket?
No,
because they never got the ball.
I was the one calling for it. Marshall as the 13 seed. It was a slow start. Thundering Herd led by John Elmore. Charleston, West Virginia. Representing San Diego. California knocking on the golden door. The AHAS Arena, San Diego State. Brian Dutcher with the Aztecs, the only first-year head coach to take a team to the NCAA tournament. Lost that title to Houston, but a big accomplishment for the team that usually calls the AHAS home, the San Diego State Aztecs.
How about Rob Gray with 39 points? He was terrific for Houston.
He was ready for March. And so is John Elmore. Now he misses that look, but 13 in the first half already for the Marshall Junior.
I'm looking for something for Connor Frankamp right here for Wichita State.
Here is Frankamp. Gives it up back to Shannon. Only one main bucket for Landry Shannon. Here is Frankamp. There's a 3 in the corner. And it spins out into the hands of Penava. But they got him to look.
He's got the hot hand. You got to go to him. I mean, Wichita State is a very good team off the pass. They got to move the ball against Marshall's defense.
Burks kick to West. Only 2 made threes for Marshall, so they dominated this game without a lot of threes.
Plays at the rim and getting to the free throw line.
Frankamp spins out again. Tap follow for Darrell Willis on the offensive glass. Second chance points have kept Wichita State in. That's now 9 second chance points.
No one anywhere near the paint for Marshall.
Until Elmore finds Penava slipping. A dunk flunk. And I wanted to see, they get him with it.
Did they hit him with a technical?
I'm not sure. We're going to have to see if this is a technical for hanging on the rim. And John Higgins gets together with Robert Staffen to make sure they get this one squared away.
Penava can't believe he missed this.
Can't either. So John Higgins going to go to the scorer's table to make sure this is straightened out.
Mark it down, Carter. 2:25 in the first half. Miss a layup. An easy 2 points.
Boy, that seems like a quick trigger technical foul on Penava hanging on the rim. We even saw him look down to see if Frankamp was underneath. Boy. Does that seem quick trigger to you?
Yeah, although I don't think he was checking for safe, wasn't hanging on for safety reasons. I think he was hanging on for frustration reasons.
And so Penava gets a tee for hanging on the rim after missing the dunk, and Dan D'Antoni disagrees. Shaman has only 2 points. Kick out as he creates for Willis. Step-in three for Darrell Willis Jr. Wichita State cuts it back to 1.
Line drives it in there.
Elmore turning the corner. There's a foul on Marcus McDuffy. That's his third. Third on Marcus McDuffy. Dan D'Antoni was guard for the Marshall Thundering Herd in the late 60s, and he graduated 69 and was coaching the freshman team when Mike D'Antoni was running the Thundering Herd. I talked to Dan D'Antoni yesterday about what that era of Marshall basketball was and what that around that school. For Dan D'Antoni to come back to Marshall as the head coach and lead them into the tournament for the first time in '87, a guy who's coached NBA All-Star games for 31 years, the head coach at Socastee High School in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, famously founded the Beach Ball Classic.
Still a great event in Myrtle Beach.
Chose to come back to his alma mater for this. Thundering Herd in the madness. Shaman jump stop, gives it up to Kelly. That's a blocking foul on Penava, trying to draw the charge.
I believe he pointed to the restricted area.
And so with the technical, that's now the third on Ideen Penava. Two big ones against Penava.
You hate that for Marshall because he didn't have control of the ball, but it's still a foul. Just bad luck right there, and the technical foul did count as a personal. That's why he's at 3.
Now another whistle inside, going for the steal. With 1:40, this is a big moment for Wichita State. Cut it to 2. Nation's leading shot blocker on the bench with 3 fouls.
Let's see if Greg Marshall, his muscle on the front line, his depth, has some sort of wear down effect as we move towards the second half.
Wichita State just now with a bonus with 16 fouls on Marshall. There's Frankamp. Again! Connor Frankamp.
What a first half for Connor Frankamp. He's kept him in the game.
Letting it fly early. 14 points. 3 made threes. Elmore can't answer. Long rebound out of bounds off Marshall. Wichita State with a lead in the ball. 1:11 before the half. Coming up on AT&T at the half, we'll have scores, highlights, and the latest NCAA tournament news. All coming up on on AT&T in the half. 9-1 run for Wichita State. Frankamp back cut Shannon.
No Penava at the rim.
Just the second bucket for Landry Shannon, and it comes off the second assist for Frankamp. Brooks lost it, got it back.
What a perfect time for Greg Marshall's team to go back door.
Burks push shot off the glass, trying to follow his miss. Williams, second chance for Marshall, about a 4-second differential.
Reeves gets a shot at defending Elmore.
And you know the help's coming.
So hard to help off shooters on the weak side.
7 to shoot, here goes Elmore. Crossing over on Reeves. Offensive foul. Called on Elmore. Reeves sets up and takes the charge.
What a terrific job by Reeves to move his feet. You feel like you're on an island right now when you've got John Elmore one-on-one and you don't have much help. That is a terrific defensive job.
On an 11-1 run by Wichita State. Just a smattering of Mountaineer fans in there with the Marshall fans. Both here in San Diego, and Frankamp has been solid.
Penava goes to the bench with 3 fouls. The rim and the lane opens up. Terrific backdoor cut by Shamet and a nice delivery by Frankamp.
He's led the way for Wichita State. And now with 5 seconds, here's Frankamp off the bounce. Setting up again. Willis spins out. But Wichita State storms back an 11-1 run by the Shockers to take a 3-point lead in the half here in Game 1 in San Diego, games in the East region. 4-seed Wichita State has the edge on the Marshall Thundering Herd. Penava gets his third, goes to the bench. The rim opens up for Wichita State, and the Shockers take advantage. 37-34. John Shriven with Shocker head coach Greg Marshall.
Carter, thank you. Coach, you go into the break up 3 after going on a run there, but Marshall basically controlled most of that first half. What adjustments do you make in the locker room?
Well, we got to defend without fouling. They got to line way more than us. And we've got to run better offense. We were kind of stagnant a couple times, did not get the ball reversed, John. We've got to reverse the ball and pound it in when we can and continue to offensive rebound.
Connor Frankamp had a huge first half. How do you get him more looks and get him more involved?
Well, he'll get himself looks if he keeps moving in the offense. We always are trying to screen for Connor anytime we can. We know how he can shoot. The guys have to move the ball, let the offense work, and ultimately the good shooters will get great shots.
Good luck in the second half, Coach.
Some good looks for Connor Frankamp. 14 and a half, 37-34, Wichita State. We'll send you to AT&T and the half after these messages. You're watching the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. And for more on the Thundering Herd, let's check in with John Shriven.
Well, Carter, thank you. Moments ago, I spoke to head coach Dan D'Antoni. He said, other than the last 5 minutes of that first half, he felt like they played really well. He said in that last 5-minute stretch, the ball really started to stick on offense. They weren't passing it. They were missing open looks. And, of course, they had that technical foul assessed to Penava. Now, I got some clarification from the referees, which they explained to D'Antoni. He said they told him that Penava was all alone. That's why they assessed the technical for hanging on the rim. Well, D'Antoni said to them, look, how's the kid supposed to know that? There is some good news for Marshall, though. It was a Class B technical, which means no personal foul was assessed, so Penava only has 2 personals.
And that is an important clarification. So 2 on Penava was originally marked down as the third, and that's when Penava came out of the game. But 2 personal fouls with the nation's leading shot blocker. Rulebook says if you grasp either basket, excessive, emphatic manner during the official's jurisdiction when the player is not in the judgment of an official, trying to prevent an obvious injury to self or others. That's how Penava got the Class B technical foul. And so Penava back in with 2 personals, but Wichita State still attacking inside of the rim.
Yeah, good job off the timeout at the half to come back in the second half and try to establish their baseline play. They really didn't do that in the first half, and you'll see Shaq Morris does not get the start in the second half for Wichita State.
It is a 15-1 run now for Wichita State. That's a travel and give it back after Marshall led by as many as 7 in the first half. Now the Shockers lead it by 7. And D'Antoni says we don't coach for the other team. They adjust to us. And after Marshall got out to that 7-point lead, the Shockers have indeed adjusted to the herd. Burks, floater goes to end that 15-1 run. Into Willis. Takes it right at Penava, trying to get a third foul, and there is a block underneath, and that is going to be the third on Penava.
Well, this is a really late whistle. D'Antoni is needing some clarification on this.
I believe the official, Robert Stafford, signaled that Penava was in the restricted area trying to draw the charge, and that's how he gets personal foul number 3. Willis gets the first free throw. Remember to drink a delicious Coke Zero Sugar for all the college mascots because they can't, including Marco from Marshall, Wu from Wichita State. Will bring into Ruckus. Elmore feeding Burks. Quick trigger sends Wichita State on the run. Frankamp pulls up, spins out. Penava has the board, and with 3 personal fouls, Penava stays out there, brings it up himself, and the junior from Sarajevo attacks and one. Penava end to end, fearless.
How about the handle at 6'9"? D'Antoni trusts. He's got 3 fouls, but he averages 3.5 personal fouls a game. He is accustomed to playing in this situation.
Almabella, Dr. Dad Samir back in Sarajevo. Aideen told us yesterday they watch every game. So big shout out to Mom and Dad back in Sarajevo. Aideen Penava's 3-point play pulls Marshall back within 4. Shamit really picked in the backcourt. West going to pick up a foul, trying to dog Landry Shamit. Second on the freshman from first on the freshman from Clarksburg, West Virginia.
Their horn set. Morris, a pretty good passer from the high post for Wichita State.
Frankamp has to come out to set it back up. Shamit on the wing, 9 to shoot. Off the screen from Kelly. Here's Shamit with Elmore's hand in his face. Landry Shamit delivers.
That is a beautiful snake behind that step up. Good ball movement. And there's ball reversal that Greg Marshall told John about at halftime.
And then Shamit picks up a foul on the defensive end, trying to get C.J. Burks.
Take a look at right here. You're trying to funnel to the interior, and all Shamit does is step a snake right behind that step up, which means he dribbles right behind the butt of the screener to try to get some space and separation.
Penava misses the 3. Shamit clears it. So the redshirt sophomore from Kansas City. He takes it. Long rebound. Elmore fighting for it. Rashard Kelly wins it for Wichita State. Another second chance for the Shockers. Kelly off the bounce. Trying to beat it around. Penava got a hand on that. It looked like a lob for Morris.
He threw it behind him.
And now West spins it in. Jared West attacking off the bounce.
Marshall's best in their transition game before Wichita State can get organized.
Frankamp trying to feed it inside. Elmore knocks it away. Feed Morris.
Well, that was telegraphed. It's a good read from the weak side.
Elmore, 14 in the first half. Sets up Williams. Skipping through from Jameson Williams. A 6-0 impression with the outside touch. 1-point game again.
Only 2 triples in the first half for Marshall, a team that we know makes 10 a game.
Into Morris and Shaq.
He's so good over his left or his right shoulder. Very skilled on the block. That's the first back to the basket bucket he's had today.
Elmore and a foul on Reeves. Put 2 hands on the dribbler. Automatic foul on Reeves. Back and forth. Early in San Diego. One of 3 teams in the American in the 2018 NCAA tournament. Cincinnati, Wichita State, and Houston. Houston a winner yesterday, buzzer beater. Wichita State's first year in the American. They earn a 4 seed at large in the tournament. Burks crosses over out of the timeout. Penava can't get the follow. Kelly, forward for Wichita State.
In the Conference USA final, Burks only had 6 points. That's his lowest output of the season. He has 6 right now in the game. He's got to come alive a little bit if Marshall's going to pull the upset.
Back into the hands of Landry Shamet. Wichita State starting to find its offensive rhythm. Kelly, Shaq Forrest finishes it off.
Terrific seal on the weak side by Shaq.
Elmore has 14 points for the Thundering Herd. In their first NCAA appearance since 1987. Penava lost it on the way up. Loose ball, another one taken by the Shockers. This is Zach Brown.
It's a lot of step up in early transition.
Kelly in the paint, looking for Morris. Tip from behind. Penava got a hand on it, so did Elmore. And Marshall brings it back, only down by 5. Marshall's only 3 for 13 from 3, and yet only down 5. And there's another one as Burks hits it from the corner.
He's the guy right now. He has got to bring some offense for D'Antoni's team.
They average 10 made threes a game. Shamet, that's a foul on Elmore. Landry Shamet comes down on John Elmore. Elmore's trying to argue it was the kick out, but a foul on Elmore sent Shamet to the line for 3.
Good movement without the basketball. Hard to see below on that replay.
Landry Shamet, redshirt sophomore from Kansas City, Park Hill High School. He was reminiscing yesterday about his recruiting visit. And Shaquille Morris recruiting him to Wichita State, saying, hey, when these guys, Van Vliet and Baker, head out of here, you're going to have the reins of this thing. We need a good guard like you. And here he is now in his redshirt sophomore year as one of the nation's top assist men for the Shockers. You can't teach speed until now. Bleacher Report. It alerts your teams and scores before anyone else. Download the app now.
He made 84 threes coming into the season, so he's a threat outside the arc. He's had 2 double-doubles with assists. He doesn't turn the ball over. He answers what I call the 3 W's of a good point guard, Carter. Who to get the ball to, when, and where. And if I was Shaq, I'd want him as my point guard too, because he can get you the ball.
Burks crosses over Shamet. That's a foul on. Is it on Penava? It is, and that is number 4, sending Aideen Penava to the bench at the 13:55 mark. Or maybe not. Now D'Antoni's finally going to bring in a sub. Critical for Marshall, especially on the defensive end. You lose your rim protector and bring in 6'7" Darius George.
Penava has only fouled out of 4 games this year, which is remarkable considering the number of shots that he has blocked all season. So now let's see how long you can keep him out. As long as it's a 2-possession game right now, you're really counting on your defense.
knocked away. Elmore got a hand on in the post. So West brings the herd back. West lost it on the way up. The Paramount Darius George, the freshman, right into the game for Penava. Impactful. And now West gets a steal. Jared West attacks Shaman, blocked him at the rim. Williams runs it down.
It's
Into the
going
hands
up.
of Elmore. Here it goes. And it's going!
From the hash, Carter.
Unlimited. John Elmore, even at 52.
That is why I carry a tape measure. Oh. We're going to measure that one later.
And Shaman nearly had the answer. Debbie's breaking out the tape measure in game 1 in San Diego. John Elmore showed up.
I only have a 6-foot tape measure in my back, Carter. I had to dig for the 100-foot tape measure with John Elmore in the game, in the house, in the tournament.
George traveled. I mean, you said from the hash, scores table range for John Elmore. You said he was going up.
He is so good at getting his feet down. He is seeking shots. His range is really unlimited.
And as a scorer and attacker, when Penava gets his fourth, you know John Elmore's thinking, all right, now I've got to step my game up.
The balance in his offensive game, John Elmore, is tremendous. And there's a steal.
Taken away. First turnover by Shaman. Elmore taps in. Gets fouled before the shot. Fouls on the floor with Elmore creating on defense and then getting the foul. John Elmore trying to take it over.
Watch a little change of speed right here. Oh, he just got Shaman to hesitate a second, then gets into his chest. What a terrific play. Telling you, Carter, guards in March. Guards in March.
Mom and Dad, Beth and Gay watching. John Elmore last year, Conference USA Final. Again, Marshall hadn't been to the tournament since '87. They lost in the final last year to Middle Tennessee. And John Elmore said, we remember the locker room. Remember the tears, more how much it hurts. And with determination, he got us back into the tournament. And now back in the lead against the Shockers. Almost another steal by Pertz. Hurt going all out defensively, wiping off, no shot, foul on the floor before the shot. That's on Rondell Watson, that is his third personal.
Yeah, Watson is a transfer from Wake Forest, and he gives them that sixth man scorer off the bench. Very good defender.
Zach Brown, 9 to shoot. Shaman, 5 to shoot. He wants it. Landry Shaman off the bounce, attack. Shaman draws a foul. 1 second on the shot clock. It's on George.
It's John Marshall who's put his team on his back. Penava with 4. Elmore from deep. That is the hash mark.
Tell you, we could have an action-packed start to the day here in San Diego with a 13-seed Thundering Herd giving the 4-seed Wichita State a major test to begin the day, and that's exactly where we are with 11:44 to go in the second half. Lies, Power, Betrayal, TNT's hit series, Animal Kingdom, returns for an all-new season. Don't miss the premiere everyone will be talking about this summer only on TNT.
Little change here by Greg Marshall off the timeout. Some three-quarter court pressure.
And it works, a takeaway, and then Marshall gets it right back as Watson goes hustling for the steal after the turnover. Penava on the bench with 4 personal fouls.
Zach Brown now having a turn on Elmore.
Burks off the bounce, forces it up, thought there was contact, play on. Shamit, McDuffy on the wing. Slipping to the hoop, Willis missed it. West brings Marshall back. Elmore, I mean, no matter where he's catching it, he's going to show it.
See, that changes the spacing on the floor. Look how far out he makes you guard him defensively.
And now with 9 to shoot, Elmore takes it into the corner, dumps it off. Wants an air ball. Brown brings it back for the Shockers. Reeves with Shamit playing off the ball. McDuffy turns it over. Into the hands of West. West had a layup, he turned it down. Thought a shot blocker was coming from behind. One, take it two, when you can give it to John Elmore for 3. And the lead.
Well, obviously West heard footsteps. But how about Elmore filling the lane and running the floor?
He's ready to shine.
Look, Steph Curry gets his feet down faster than anybody in basketball. And John Elmore is very good at getting his feet down quickly under his shoulders so he can get into the rhythm of his shot.
A 9-2 run for Marshall. It's a 9-2 run since Penava went to the bench with his 4th. And Wichita State now, after they had a 15-1 run into the first half, started the second. Drought for the Shockers. McDuffy can't shoot him out of it. Elmore sending Marshall on the rest.
Going up, Carter.
Slams on the brakes for now. It's still going up. The Marshall fans, and I think everybody else here at the Viejas Arena, holding their breath with John Elmore's performance so far. He has 21. Reeves. Offensive rebound, Kelly. Another one for the Shockers. McDuffy in tight around Williams. No Penava.
Especially without Penava, you have to attack the rim. He's done a much better job in the second half as Greg Marshall's team of scoring points in the paint.
Here's Elmore with Williams rolling. Elmore takes it himself, finishes with a layup.
Just a great hang. High off the glass.
Blended fly from outside. Finishing with both hands at the rim, John Elmore.
Look at West D'ing up on the ball.
Reeves off the bounce. Attacking the rim again. Kelly and one. Rashard Kelly finishes to even it. And a free throw to put Wichita State back on top.
So without Penava, Wichita State counters with their big lineup. That's why they're going right to the rim and looking to attack. It's a great finish inside by Kelly.
Penava on the bench with 4. Rondale Watson just picked up his 4th from Marshall. And on the offensive glass, that is now 11 offensive rebounds in the game for Wichita State. Marshall's not a very good rebounding team, but the Shockers are using those second chance opportunities to regain the lead.
Yeah, they control the game with their offense. Obviously, D'Antoni sees the game through an offensive lens. The best defense is good shot selection and making shots, making them take it out of the net. I actually like that philosophy, Carter.
Elmore likes it too. Draws a foul on Reeves. Blocking foul. Elmore just setting him up, getting into Reeves and getting a blocking foul call.
And Reeves has done a pretty good job all game moving his feet, but right here, that's contact. That's disrupting the ball handler and freedom of movement. That's a foul.
And that's the 4th on Reeves. 5 team fouls for Wichita State. So Reeves has to check out 8:35. One of the best shooters and one of the guys who's drawn Elmore today. Burks off the bounce, takes it and Shamit around Kelly. Burks finishes in tight. Marshall back on top.
Every small guard needs that shot off the glass, above the block.
And now Frankamp pulls the trigger. Connor Frankamp, carried of Wichita State. The 5th-year senior.
They've been switching on all that stuff, all those step-ups.
Elmore attacks, creates for West. Follow Williams. Elmore creates, and guess what? We're even again at 62. Big time, we've been tied. Tied no more. Frankamp answers. The Shockers and the Herd back and forth.
They clear out the whole side for Elmore. Timeout, Dave Tony. Connor Frankamp is heating back up. He led him in scoring in the first half. He's back at it in the second. He's a big guy inside, and he can score left or right. He brings a terrific power game to the low block for Wichita State.
So what do you expect in the last 7:38? What has already been an action-packed one to begin the day in San Diego?
And it's been terrific, back and forth, and counter after counter. It's a chess match between the coaches right here, but it's the guards that are going to make the plays late.
Elmore trying to make one. Morris got in there, knocked it away. Marshall gets it back, 7 to shoot. West heaves it, well short. Boarded, out of bounds, 4 seconds. Here comes another opportunity. 7:18 to go, another timeout. Jack Morris can't believe it. It's a 3-point game. Wichita State by 3. Marshall ball, 4 to shoot. Watch live games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Watch now at ncaa.com/March Madness or download the app today. Here's why Shaquille Morris was a little upset with that call.
They watch the foot out of bounds by Darius George. They have 4 on the shot clock.
And so John Elmore. John Elmore!
Carter
He's ready for his shining moment. Even at 65.
his 4th triple of the game.
Marshall or nothing, they say around Huntington. Elmore started his career at VMI, where his dad was a star. Came back home to play at Marshall. Morris lost it on the way up and then lost it out of bounds. Wait a second here. It's going to be Wichita State. They're going to call it out of bounds off of Darius George. Again, not reviewable yet.
Carter, Morris has got to finish that play. He can't catch it in a better spot on the floor for his skill set.
So now Wichita State, 5 to shoot. Shaman shot big. Frankamp cannot add to his career high. He didn't shoot a 3 in the last game, had to hit a 3 in the last 3. Today a career high. Let's check in with John.
John Elmore has been on fire, but he owes a lot of that credit to his brother Ott, who is actually sitting on the bench. That's because back on February the 1st, before a game against UTSA, his brother Ott noticed that John was shooting towards the front of the rim. He fixed his shot and made sure he started aiming towards the back. Guys, his shooting percentage has gone from 30% to now 44% since his brother fixed his shot.
You know what, John, that's interesting. I always looked at the front of the rim, and that was part of my muscle memory and my ability to self-correct as you take a look at his brother Ott. How about that, getting a tip from your brother who knows your game better than anybody?
Brotherly love. I mean, come on. March. First time in 31 years for the Herd, the Elmore family here in the house. And you knew John Elmore was not going to let this stage go by without some oh my moments here in San Diego. Tap out off the miss. Shaman has it. Both teams have led by 7. We've been back and forth since. And now a triple. Brown left it short into the freshman hands of Jared West.
I'm not sure that's the right shot. I'd go back to Connor Frankamp. You heard Coach Marshall tell John at halftime, Connor works without the ball. He'll get himself open. Maybe they ought to help him get the ball in a spot where he can be effective.
Elmore was on the in and madness and thought about it. Instead, it's West off the bounce. Morris bothered the shot. George flies in to keep it alive. But it's out of bounds off of Darius George. He's in the game because of the 4 fouls on Penava. And George has played with energy.
I'm telling you, Darius George has done a decent job helping Penava, who's going to check back into the game, be able to stay on the bench with those 4 fouls.
Penava not only the nation's leading shot blocker, he averages 15 points per game with a nice outside touch. So you bring a shot blocker and a shooter back into the game. But 4 fouls, 5.5 to go.
you're Wichita State, you go right at it.
Willis outside off the look from Landry Shamet. That's the 7th assist for Shamet. And the Shockers regain the lead.
Screen, rescreen for Penava.
Into the corner. Spins in for Jansen Williams. A redshirt freshman steps outside, and it's Marshall on top at the 5-minute mark. Elmore chips it away. Loose ball into the hands of the Shockers. Frankamp resets. And pulls up. Connor Frankamp keeping it up.
Absolutely, Connor Frankamp. You shoot till your arm falls off.
Elmore's following on the bikes too, although he lost it this trip down. That's a same, and that is a timeout granted to Wichita State. Slim, 1 point up for Wichita State. Elmore has 27 for the Herd. Connor Frankamp has a career high 24 points for Wichita State. Good seat for Bob Huggins, the 3rd winningest active Division I head coach as West Virginia takes on Murray State. Classic Bob Huggins, a guy who can't get enough basketball, so grab a front row seat. It's in Tony Caridi's spot, Radio Row there of West Virginia.
Can Murray State handle the basketball? They can score when they do handle that first wave of pressure on the backside. If they can do that, they'll have a chance. Otherwise, Javon Carter is a nightmare to have to deal with for anybody going up against West Virginia's defense.
Let's check in with John Schrift.
Dan D'Antoni, head coach of Marshall, is hot right now because during that 30-second timeout, Wichita State players who were supposed to stand were actually sitting on the bench getting rest that entire time. He was asking for an explanation from the officials, but during that, they didn't give him a great answer, and Wichita State got more rest than his players did.
So full timeout, you can sit, 30 you can. Or maybe you can. Frankamp pulls up again. Into the hands of Brown on the offensive glass. Frankamp resets.
I like the set by Greg Marshall, though. You get Frankamp a great look.
And then West steals it away into the hands of Penava. So a second chance, they turn it over. Marshall has a chance to regain it. Less than 4. Penava facing off. Off the bounce at 6'9". Penava attacks.
So soft off the glass. Terrific feet, great hands.
14 lead changes, and we still have 3:35 to go. Morris couldn't finish. Penava has the rebound. Brings it up himself.
That's a good job by Williams to defend Morris and force him to shoot a shot over the top. You can't put Penava in that matchup with those 4 fouls. Penava's smart enough to stay out of foul trouble, not to try to block any shots right now.
West draws it. The freshman stepping up. Marshall by 4. And now Frankamp trying to use a screen from Morris. Gets it into the hands of Landry Shamet. Marshall, one of the dangerous double-digit seeds here in San Diego. Inside, Morris hammers it down. Amanda for Shamet.
That's what I'm talking about, Carter. 3/4 court pressure. They turned it over the one time that Wichita State showed this defense. They handle it this time.
9 to shoot. Penava attacking Shamet. He just crossed over on the point guard Landry Shamet to give Marshall a 4-point lead. And then now the open court breaks. We are Marshall. Even the West Virginia fans get behind the Marshall Thundering Herd, a 6-point edge, seeking their first NCAA tournament win in program history.
As much as we talk about Marshall's offense, They have 11 steals on 14 Wichita State turnovers, which has resulted in 26 points, Carter. 26 points off their defense.
Wichita State 10 second half turnovers. Reeves almost turned it over again. Missed a shot, boarded by Burks. Penava takes a tumble, comes up holding his knee, and now jogs back down to play offense with 1:30 as the 13 seed. Champs of Conference USA. Trying to make it a win in the NCAA tournament, 4th straight year for a Conference USA school.
No fouls to give for Wichita State. Only one timeout remaining. They have the possession arrow.
2 defenders on Elmore, so he gives it up. West off the bounce. West floats it, can't hit it. Into the hands, he got his own rebound. Off the tip from Penava. So Marshall with the ball. And a 6-point edge with 1 minute remaining in San Diego.
Don't let Elmore get it back. He's their best free throw shooter.
Here's Burks in the paint. Shamit gives the foul. It is on Shamit. We'll see if John Higgins says it's on the floor or shooting. It is a 1-and-1 on the floor with the Marshall fans led by the Elmore family ready to celebrate.
Landry Shamit, 1 basket in the second half for Wichita State. It's a 2-possession game. These free throws could make it a 3-possession. I'd make sure you did not let Connor Frankamp get open for a 3 if you're Marshall.
And yet Burks misses the front end. So an opportunity for Wichita State. Here's Frankamp, there's the look. And he draws it!
He has been incredible. You can't let him get a 3 off Carter.
And yet, Frankamp adding to his career high. It's now 27. And back to a 3-point game. 44 seconds, 3-point game with a 13 seed Marshall on top. Look at the foul trouble, including Penava with 4. What's your strategy here for Wichita State?
You look to track. You've got the possession arrow. You don't foul. You rely on your defense, right? And you switch on everything. If Elmore gives it up, you don't let him get it back. There's a trap.
Into the hands of Elmore. Nearly got the pick. Elmore attacks. Penava dumps it all. It's blocked at the rim. Out of bounds. Marshall keeps it. Now you can review
You
it.
got to review this. I think it went off Marshall.
Marshall can't wait to get his 2 cents in. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's Wichita State's ball. I think it goes off Williams' hands at the end, and it does not touch Frankamp out of bounds.
Well, you got 3 potential players there who touched it last. 2 of them shockers.
The call on the floor was Marshall's ball.
So out of bounds off of Brown. Well, this is a tough one to dissect. Does Williams touch it again? What do you think? After it's touched by Brown, does Williams touch that basketball again to give it to the Shockers? Now, it's just like the football reviews in that play. You hear indisputable video evidence. That's what you have to overturn this. So a pretty lengthy review here from John Higgins. Marquise Pettigrew.
I like the strategy of Marshall not trying to take time, but looking to attack. They had numbers on the backside of that pressure. You got to finish that play.
It's the D'Antoni way, right? I mean,
that's right.
Rather than bleed it dry and hope for something at the end, just attack and put the pressure on the Wichita State Shockers.
No timeouts left for Wichita State, while Marshall has 2.
So this official review gives Greg Marshall a de facto timeout and a lot of time to draw things up in the last 35.8.
And with a veteran team, you can give them 2 things here. Offensively, this is what we do. Defensively, this is what we're going to do. Offensively, if it's their ball, they've got to come down and attack. You can get a quick 2 and try to extend the game. You don't need a 3.
wrong look. I mean, I think we've ruled out Frankamp pulls his hand away at the very end. That would be an easy one. If you see Frankamp touch it, it's obviously Marshall. Marcus Pettigrew came away from the monitor kind of shrugging his shoulders like, boy, this is a tough one. And, you know, J.D. Collins, national coordinator of officials for the NCAA tournament, said, we want our guys on these reviews to get in and get out. Unless you have a game hanging in the balance, that is exactly what you have here. Who possesses it with 35.8 in a 3-point game. So they're going to take their time and get this one as right as they can.
This is where the madness kicks in when your coach is gone. This is the madness right here. You're waiting on the decision. And with a veteran team for Greg Marshall.
And again, the call was Marshall basketball. And now we'll see what is left on the clock after this lengthy official review. 36.2. It will be Marshall ball. John Higgins is going to come give us, off the fingertip. There you go.
So the call stands as on the floor. So you got to. So Greg Marshall gets a chance to get his defensive lineup in right here.
And 30 seconds on the shot clock for Marshall. So baseline inbounds with 6.2 and a chance to make it a 2-possession game with very little time on the clock.
You've got to watch John Elmore, number 33, for him to come off some screening action to ball side. He gets a good look. See if D'Antoni will want to run some time here.
Well, I think at long last we have it all squared away. Marshall basketball, fresh 30, 36.2.
You got all kinds of options here if you're Marshall. Try to score quickly, make it 2 possessions, or try to take some time.
West to try and get it in. Uses a timeout, 1 left for the Thundering Herd. So with Morris on the ball, timeout Marshall, down to the wire. The Shockers in the Herd. Marshall has 3-point lead and the ball baseline inbounds. How does Wichita State play it?
Well, you've got options here. You can try to go for a steal, go for a trap. You've got the possession arrow. You want to switch everything.
Watching the inbound now. Penava slipping with a dunk and a 5-point lead. No time came off. Got to have at least 0.3.
It was 36.2.
Make sure that.
So too much time might have come off, Carter.
So no time came off the shot clock, but got to make sure that the game clock is precisely right. 36.2. Ball goes through with just over 34. So a few tenths of a second likely to be put back on.
How about that out of bounds play? What terrific execution by Marshall.
35.2, but it's a 2-possession game. Wichita State needs something in a hurry.
So you can come down and get a quick 2 and try to extend the game. If Connor Frankamp gets open for a 3, you know he's going to let it fly. He's hit 6 triples in the game. You switch on everything and you do not foul if you're Marshall.
Marshall's first appearance in the NCAA tournament since 1987. They have never won an NCAA tournament game. And with the Marshall alum, Dan D'Antoni, in his 4th season. Last year, they came up 1 game short in the CUSA title game. This year, they won it in dramatic fashion over Western Kentucky. Now trying to deliver that NCAA tournament win for Huntington. D'Antoni was trying to get West in the game, have to keep Williams in. So you do have the 1 timeout.
Yeah, but you can't substitute here because there was no timeout called. It was a review by the officials of the time on the clock.
And so off a made bucket. Reeves can run the baseline. So
yes,
D'Antoni,
you can run the baseline.
And D'Antoni, if you really want to get that sub in, you can use that last timeout. But that's prime real estate right now.
The officials could be looking to make sure the right players are on the floor.
So back to the monitor.
That's what they're doing right now. They're making sure that the same players that were on the floor when they went to review the clock for Marshall are still on the court.
Wichita State has won a game in the tournament each of the last 5 years. Final four in 2013. They're checking to make sure the clock is right here again. So just a double check, 35.2. We'll see if any additional changes. And now to make sure that everybody's squared away from Marshall.
I can get a quick 2 right here. I go for the quick 2 if it's open. Marshall's got to be very careful about. We haven't seen them extend their pressure at all.
Frankamp has made 6 threes. This is all to sort out whether Marshall has the same 5 on the floor as the end of the last play. Because again, Dan D'Antoni tried to sub in Jared West.
Same with Marshall,
yeah,
with Greg Marshall.
It was Williams on the floor, so now you got to check both sides. And Wichita State's had a lot of time to talk for a team with no timeouts down the stretch. These monitor reviews have helped Greg Marshall set things up for this scenario. 2 possession, 35.2, no timeouts.
Well, you know, D'Antoni wants to put his defensive team in, and Greg Marshall wants to put his offensive players in. So Wichita State's going to have to make the correction and the adjustment here.
So it's Wichita State who had Willis into the game, and now Kelly has to be on the floor for Wichita State. So both teams tried to sneak a sub in. Now we're back to who was in the game before that last review, and it's a 5-point game. Shaman will bring it up. Landry Shaman attacks at Penava into the corner. That's a push-off, and that is number 5 on Ideen Penava. And it stops the clock with 28.9, sending Shaman to the line.
No question that's a foul. And Shaman, who's only made 1 basket, was going to pass. Now he's going to the free throw line for 1 and 1.
So Penava fouls out. Picked up his 4th at the 13:55 mark when Marshall was down by 5. They made their run when Penava was on the bench in foul trouble, but now the junior from Sarajevo has to sit with 5, and Landry Shaman goes to the line for a 1 and 1. Shockers as a team, 13 of 16 from the line today. Misses the front end. Morris gets the rebound. Second chance. Frankamp. Step in, won't go. Kelly has the board. Shockers need a bucket in a hurry. Shaman takes it. It's off. It's a loose ball. Out of bounds again. Wichita State keeps it, but the clock is down to 15.9 with Wichita State still down 5.
The best time to get a 3 sometimes is off the offensive rebound. However, Wichita State had opportunities to score it without settling for the triple. Now we've got to go back to the monitor and you have another review.
So this one was ruled out of bounds off of Rondale Watson. And again, I mean, it gets frustrating to have review after review.
But you got to get it right.
You have a game in the balance with 15.9. And the difference between Marshall having the ball on a 5-point edge, 15.9. Wichita State baseline inbounds. You saw how quickly Marshall was able to score on the baseline inbounds. Again, it's ruled out of bounds off of Watson for Marshall. Wichita State ball.
Wow. How many people in Huntington, West Virginia are sitting on the edge of their seat right now?
Every last one of them. Wichita State ball. So
now you need a 3, Carter. I think you need a 3.
Another de facto timeout for Greg Marshall.
Yeah. On 3 monitor reviews.
Yep. And it was fouled out. We can start adding that to our late game recap.
I think you get the best shot available here. You've got to make sure you switch on Connor Frankamp. High hands on the closeout.
Whatever it is has to be quick for Wichita State. Shaman from the baseline, looking for Morris. He's got it. Trying to get it back to Shaman. Taken away. Marshall party. A 5-point lead, 11.6 away for the Herd. 80 on the board for the Marshall Thundering Herd. They get it done with offense, but the defense has been the difference in the second half.
I think that's been the story for Marshall, a team that we know is wild and wonderful in West Virginia with their ability to shoot the three and the way they space the floor. John Elmore has been terrific leading his team today. 12 steals from the Marshall defense, 26 points off turnovers. Incredible number for their D when we talked about their offense leading into the tournament.
And if Marshall pulls it off, first time in a decade, 2-13 seeds. And they're closing in, playing keep away again. West fouled, 3.9. And the Marshall fans who come to San Diego have their hands raised, ready to celebrate the first win in program history in the NCAA tournament.
Six seniors on the Wichita State team.
West gets the front end. Wichita State ball in San Diego. It is a March miracle for Marshall. For the first time, the Thundering Herd win a game in the NCAA tournament. A 13 seed, 81-75 over Wichita State. One step of the way towards that Country Roads matchup on the road to the Final Four. West Virginia versus Murray State is coming up next from San Diego. The Marshall Thundering Herd from Conference USA. Their last chance in the NCAA tournament was 1987. 31 years later, the Marshall alum, Dan D'Antoni, leads it back into the nets. And John Elmore, a West Virginia native, celebrates with a Thundering Herd as Marshall takes out the 4 seed Wichita State. Dan D'Antoni is with John Schroeder.
Carter, thank you so much, Coach. It's been 31 years since Marshall has been here to the big dance, and you pull off the upset. How does this feel?
Real good. I don't know what else to say except it was fun. Tell my brother we beat his team.
The key moment of this game, with about 14 minutes left, your star big man, Penava, has 4 fouls. He goes to the bench. How did you guys go on a run and get control of this game?
Right there. I didn't do much. I'm sitting there watching him. He's leading it all, doing all the stuff. So, proud of him, happy for him. Happy for West Virginia, and obviously
Congratulations. I'm going to bring in the star of the game now, right now.
I would too.
John, what a performance. 27 points. Talk about your play when Penava goes to the bench, how you guys went on a run.
It was a heck of a team effort, man. We did it by committee tonight. I thought everybody got in the game, stepped up and played big. Credit to Wichita, because they're a huge, talented team, man. You hear what Wichita does every year. We kind of look up to a school like that, but we're getting to the point where we want to compete and beat schools like that. So we did it tonight, and I want to shout out Herd Nation, man. They came out tonight. The crowd was awesome, so hopefully we can keep rolling.
All right, so I've seen you hit a floater in the lane. I've seen you hit a 3. I've seen you hit NBA threes. What is out of your range?
Dunking the ball, man. I'm not a big dunker. But no, I'm just kidding. We practice it every day. We shoot from anywhere from in the lane all the way to half court. You've seen the D'Antoni system. You've seen the offense. You've seen what the Rockets do. You've seen what the Warriors do. We try to imitate some of that stuff, and we're getting pretty good at it.
What a win. Congratulations.
That was a huge win, man, and we're going to keep rolling. Hopefully we can keep winning some games. Thank you.
Well, the Houston Rockets are on notice now. Marshall knocks off Wichita State. Tournament games continue live now on CBS, TBS, and True TV. Coming up next on TNT, Murray State versus West Virginia. We'll send you to our studio for Capital One Tournament Central after these messages.